Welcome back to the Brew Podcast, everyone. This is episode 267, back in the church room bar, and it's President's Day. I haven't celebrated a president yet today, though.
You haven't?
I'm not sure, what people's typical President's Day traditions are, but mine includes celebrating the presidents, and I haven't done it yet.
One of my employees today put in their time card that was, a holiday for President's Day because those people work on base. It's closed, so... but then also put in Washington's birthday. I want to chime back. Washington's birthday is until the 22nd.
Ah, jeez. Come on, Kai.
See, President's Day moves to, being whatever, the third Monday or whatever. But Washington's birthday is a fixed day.
Mm.
His day doesn't move.
His day doesn't move.
Like Thanksgiving or MLK.
Yeah, I don't know that. Maybe we should put some cap on with the presidents that were... So I don't know that presidents deserve a President's Day anymore. After the past few... Maybe we shouldn't celebrate these guys.
This is, that's going to be JT's hot take of the episode.
I'm not naming any presidents. I'm not taking a side here, D or R. I'm just saying.
I'm on the side of doctors.
Yeah,
DR?
doctors are great.
Or the Dominican
Most
Republic.
doctors. Some doctors. I don't know. I haven't really met a lot of doctors I didn't think were great. But there's some.
No. Everyone can agree, and this is what makes me drink related to doctors. You've encouraged me to be the first appointment of the day when you go for anything, when you do doctors or dentists or whatever.
I encourage you for that?
Yeah,
the dentist is worth it.
So I had a dentist appointment this last week, but I'll get to that. Doctors is, so I typically schedule my appointments for 2 o'clock or whatever, so I don't have to take off work because that's a nuisance.
Yeah.
They always ask you, are you going back to work? No, I'm not, because I don't know how long I'm going to be here. Mm-hmm. And then 2, they say, be there at 2:30. Yeah. And then you don't see the doctor till 3:15, and they're like, oh, your blood pressure is high. I just had to wait 45 minutes, and I can hear you through this paper-thin wall. The only thing that's thicker than the paper between the walls is that paper that they make you sit on the table.
Right. What? Yeah.
Like butcher paper.
Come on.
Who's that keeping clean? So anyways, your blood pressure is elevated. Well, no shit. Yeah. I'm 45 minutes, so you can glad hand with the person.
I'm steaming mad, yeah.
Yeah. So, again, try to be I will never be the first one of the day. But anyways, so dentist last week, this is my canceled and makeup appointment. Mm-hmm. And they're so anyways, long story, great teeth or whatever, but she's like, well, I'm trying to get out of here. I'm trying to get into the thing. So they go to make the appointment. I go, no Mondays, obviously for the podcast, and 1 o'clock. And she's first words out of her mouth, and she goes, well, we've got a Monday, September the 9th at... Do you understand the words that come? You just cleaned my mouth.
Oh my God.
Is this on?
Yeah. Maybe they turned it off. Yeah. Dentist is best in the morning. Surgery and dentist. Those are, if you go to a regular doctor, a family doctor, or any other specialist, I don't think you need to be first. But typically when anyone's going to actually work on something, because most doctor's appointments are checkups and diagnosis, basically. Yeah. You're not actually getting anything worked on until you visit a surgeon or the dentist. The dentist they'll fuck shit up right away. They don't need to refer you to a specialist because they are the specialist. You don't want the fatigued, hygienist or dentist. You want the fresh morning dentist.
Never thought of that. Because I don't eat when I go to the dentist. I'm brushing my teeth on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's another reason I go first thing.
You see me in my car. I'm brushing my teeth on the way to the dentist.
Yeah, from work. Yeah, but yeah. That's why another reason why I go first thing in the morning, because I floss, I brush, and then I don't have to worry about it again. I know there's no food in there. I'm not worried about it all day. I can't eat lunch because I'm gonna get shit out of my teeth.
Yeah, I'm conscientious about I don't want things to smell for them. So I'm
I
won't eat.
Same.
It's like surgery. You can't eat before surgery, I guess. Everything's clean, and they're like, oh, do you use a electric toothbrush? I go, I haven't brushed in months. I love saying that, and they're like, what?
Yeah, I
love messing with them.
I just hate when they're talking to you and when they're working in there. I can't talk, and I don't care if you can understand me. I can't understand myself.
Tell me your thoughts on DNR.
Yeah. I don't like that. But anyway, dentists, they're first thing in the morning.
Yep, I know you've always encouraged me.
I don't want whatever 2:30 dentist is doing, I don't care, because that's not my business. They're tired.
Yeah,
they've been in some other people's mouths all day.
My dentist, he was leaving for the day, and the best part is, so it was a 1 o'clock appointment. He came in, typically they do the cleaning, they come in, count teeth or whatever. She hadn't done the cleaning yet, and he came in and he's like, "You're my last one for the day, and then I'm out of here."
Damn.
Well, he's partially retired, so.
Yeah, so he just went in there with the mirror and was like, "You're good."
Yeah, everything's good. He goes, "Do you need me to sign my military form?" I go, "No, not this time. That's in 6 months or 7 months."
Well, at least he remembered. That's good.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think my dentist remembers me time to time, and I've spent thousands of dollars there.
Oh, this is just the wallet.
Anyways. Yeah. Well, okay. I'm sure other people spend way more. I'm in the market for a new dentist, so if you guys know one, put it in the comments.
Yeah.
I want to know what dentist to use. I don't like the dentist I went to previously.
I like my dentist besides the fact that they have canceled me the last 2 times. Life happens. Shit happens.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that happens. Cancellation is better than... I don't know. The nurses talk shit a lot.
The hygienist, yeah.
Yeah, they talk so much shit, and I'm like, I don't think this is very professional. Like, I'm glad you're talking shit, because now I know that I shouldn't stay here, but not about me or anything. Yeah. Just like, they're like work gossiping while they're in the room with you. They shouldn't do that.
Yeah, like Dolores, can you believe she wore that blue smock again?
Yeah, I'm just like, nah. Let's not do that.
Anyway, real talk.
So
no cap.
Yeah, presidents, no cap. It's President's Day.
And that's the bottom line.
Get out your favorite president decorations, Lincoln, Washington, put them up all over the house.
I'll change the light curtain out front. I'll look at what kind of flair they have for President's Day and really break it out.
Yeah.
Tis the season.
Let the neighborhood know.
Tis the season.
Get your President's Day lights on the tree.
Yeah.
Put the Washington on top of your Christmas tree. You gotta get the Christmas. You should still have your Christmas tree out. If you have already packed up your Christmas decorations, you're wrong. You gotta keep them out until President's Day.
The President's Day tree is the cherry tree.
That's actually that would be good. That would be good. Have you ever visited a president's house? Do you want to crack open a beer before we talk about this? We should. All right, let's do that.
I have not visited. The only presidential thing I've been to is Taft's room.
Oh, Taft's, yeah.
Yeah, down in.
So we're gonna start with Flying Monkey. This one is just today's is just can art crazy.
Canada's favorite.
Psychedelic Puzzle Factory.
Holy shit, this is
And this
loud.
thing is just full of just colors, yeah. So this is a double IPA that has in it, I don't know that this is part of the style. I think it's just a double IPA. But it is brewed with, it's a blueberry custard dippa. And it is brewed with...
It's blued.
It's blued with blueberry and juicy blackberry puree swirled with creamy vanilla. So, it's got puree and loads of fruity hops. You should probably roll it.
Good.
Because it's got puree in it. So, Flying Monkey, yeah. So, I got 4 excellent beers. This is 2 of them today. And, man, was it hard to decide which ones to bring today. But, this is what I settled on.
This can is loud.
This can's loud as
I feel like I'm being screamed
at. There's something to this. I think there's a game here. There's some sort of game you're supposed to play with your friends.
Well,
we'll find that out. We'll find that out. Ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. All right. What was I asking before we cracked the beer?
I get no blueberry on the nose.
Yeah, no, not on the nose, not at all. I don't remember what we were talking about. Someone in their car screaming right now that. What did I say? You want to crack a beer before we talk about this?
There's been a couple of people speaking. Have you seen? There's a lot of people going back into the archives, and
I like this beer.
Commenting on like 100 and 100 episodes.
Oh yeah, like 156 or whatever. Yeah, I saw that. That's awesome. Thanks for joining us. You got to start at the beginning. The beginning that you can. I think 100 is probably the earliest.
We're an episodic story. We're like Arrested Development. You can't just join us.
No.
On 266, you expect to get all the magic.
You could, and if you have, welcome. But you should at 267. But you should go back and listen. Get some of the storyline. There's a lot going on here. It's a beer podcast, but we talk about a lot of things.
But really, your family.
Right. This is like we're hanging out at the kitchen table, which is the place I don't like to hang out. I want to eat and move on. What was I talking about before we opened this beer? I don't remember. Damn, that sucks. 'Cause I feel like it was a great topic.
Oh, beer is very satisfying.
Oh, I'm glad. Hair of the dog.
Sorry, Stacy. Oh.
Today's the baseball tryouts for the local high school. I don't know
yeah,
about your local high school.
No, we were. I wanted to talk a little bit about that during pre-production, obviously, but the little bit that you can say, are they excited? Are they stressed? Like, is it what kind of?
Excited, I think. Well, so my youngest is in 8th grade, so he actually joined a travel ball team, so he won't be playing school ball this year, even though they have a junior high team. The high schooler, he is very excited, and I'm pretty sure that he'll be on varsity this year. So he's even more excited.
Is he tickling 110 miles an hour yet?
Not yet. No. So we just had all of his like measurements. They do this thing called PBR. It's called Prospect.
PBR, Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yeah. It's like that, but
for baseball.
But different. It's I can't remember what the B stands for, but it's report. I think it's Prospect Baseball Report or something like that.
It seems reasonable.
And so what it is, and if you've heard of Perfect Game, it's a very similar concept. Perfect Game hosts more tournaments, and they'll like radar gun the pitchers and stuff during the games.
Yeah.
PBR is you go into a training facility, and then they do all those measurements in a controlled environment. So we had all of his stuff done. He hit 80.2. First time he got over 80 pitching, which is awesome. Sophomore, so he's
2/3 of the way to 120. I mean, he's
almost there. I mean, the first 2/3, the half, that's easy.
That's the majority.
Everyone gets there quickly. And then he's in the 90s with his exit velocity off the bat. So, and once he's facing 70, 80 mile an hour pitches, the exit velocity will certainly go up. So, I mean, his measurements are there. He's got to get his 60-yard dash time down, though. His 60-yard dash, I think he's at 7.3. He needs to be under 7.
He needs to get his home plate exit velocity better, is what you're saying.
Yes. Yeah, so his 10-yard dash, which is how they measure kind of your jump out of the box, that's good. I think he's at like 1.8 or 1.7, which is actually really good. But once he starts sprinting, 7.3 is excellent. But 6.9... that's where you need to be there or lower.
60,
for colleges to care.
69.
Exactly. So that's how you remember that. So once that happens, pretty much the colleges start calling.
And when the colleges start calling, yeah.
Now there's a lot of new NCAA rules. Anyway, back to your original question. He's excited. There's a new varsity coach at the high school, and he had a parents meeting where basically he said, and this was true, the last coach did not give a shit about winning. Like he knew that. He didn't know. He thought that maybe our school wasn't going to be competitive like they are in football. They're not competitive. So maybe he thought the baseball team would be similar. But this coach is like, I have a 5-year plan to get this team to the state playoffs. And I was like, holy shit, this guy's serious. So that's good. Wow. So they're excited. They're excited. And he had a whole off-season weightlifting program that he made him do.
I think part of the 5-year plan good. When you talk like high school sports is you get all of your athletes to fail and keep them.
Ooh,
like all of your...
like red shirt.
Yeah. Or just get them to do terrible scholastically. And
then your whole team is benched.
Then we got them.
Your whole team, not even benched because you can't even go to the dugout when you're failing.
Yeah.
You actually can't dress for the game. But yeah, so good luck to all the high school baseball players that watch this podcast.
And the tangent, one of my favorite beer-related baseball, softball things is my cousin was playing softball, and I told this story a couple times on the podcast, but it bears repeating. And I bring a cooler because the ballpark is like right next to my house, and I'm in the stands, and it's a high school girls softball game, and I'm cracking beers and beers.
Yes, hell yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking.
No, you're so. To give you context, that's okay.
I shamed to put that beer back in like.
So at rec ball, it's not very common to do that, but
early 20s
in Action Sports, which is an Ohio kind of travel ball facility where all of they help host tournaments, they sell beer there.
Oh, okay.
And it's youth baseball, so it's not. I have it all the time. I'll go buy a beer if it's
really?
after. Yeah, like
now I don't feel as bad. This helps.
Well,
talking this through with you.
Yeah. So there's a couple like addendums or appendix that you gotta attach to so we're a travel team, so we all hang out every weekend all summer. So by that, now it's year 2, we all kind of know each other. So cracking a beer with the other dads is kind of just like commonplace.
Yeah.
Because when they're not playing baseball and we're in Georgia, we're drinking beer. So now when we're in Ohio, we're drinking beer. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It kind of we just got used to it.
It's good that's not like a faux pas, at least.
Not
like
a faux pas.
me, I had people.
Now getting hammered?
Well, I wasn't getting hammered.
No, don't get hammered at a baseball game. Just have a beer or two. But yeah, it's like you kind of it's just like I don't know what it would be compared to. Like, you come home from work and like the first thing you might do is like loosen your belt, maybe take a shit or something. It's the same thing. Like, you show up, you see these guys, you're like, oh, I should be having a beer right now. You kind of it's just like routine.
First thing that I do when I get home is typically when it's colder out, put on my Mr. Rogers jacket and let the dog out. And then I go change. But yeah.
Yeah, I usually keep with the jeans, now that people are wearing jeans to work, I usually keep those on until
because that's that's something we've talked about before is invest a little bit in your wardrobe and they're comfortable,
But the khakis, when I have to wear like if I'm in a suit or I have to tuck my shirt in.
What's he wearing? Khakis?
I take that shit off immediately.
Well, she sounds hideous.
Yeah, they changed Jake from State Farm. I have no issues with the current Jake from State Farm, but I also had no issues with the previous Jake from State Farm. Why couldn't they just have a different name for the guy?
Well, she sounds hideous.
It does. I don't know why they changed it with the same name.
Jake brand recognition.
I don't know. It's just weird. That was just a weird move, and I don't know. I have no issues again with the Jake. Either Jake.
Were there any memorable beer commercials from the Super Bowl? I think they brought back the Clydesdales.
They did bring back the Clydesdales, but Bud Light is making a push. So Bud Light is, they're having.
Well, anything's better than last year. They made a push in the wrong direction.
Was that?
When they went and created such a divisive campaign.
Oh yeah. That was after the Super Bowl, though. Right?
Yeah, but last year,
so that's why they're making a push. I feel, and
it seems like a lot of people have come back to them.
Yeah, like a lot of people have, and they've hired a lot of the right people. They got Peyton Manning, they got Shane Gillis, who's a comedian who tells a lot of jokes that are, I guess, both-sided.
And again,
politically,
a comedian that was canceled.
Yeah, he was canceled.
He was fired before he even really started.
Yeah,
because
he got bigger
when they announced it, and then he just turned that. And again, that's where we try to be funny. There's actual professional people that are out there funny. Either everything is funny or nothing is funny.
Right.
Like in a comedic sense.
Yeah,
you go to a comedy show, please don't be offended.
Don't be offended.
You're going to be at a comedy show.
Yeah, there's so many videos I've seen lately of people getting offended at comedy shows. It's ridiculous. Don't get offended. Yeah. Don't go to the comedy show if you're going to be offended. If you're at risk.
It's different if, someone's in the supermarket doing the same thing, but it's a comedy show.
Right. Yeah, so
the comedy beer podcast.
I feel like Bud Light. And I don't even think it was. I don't take anything personal from corporations, but it wasn't so much the Dylan Mulvaney sponsorship. It was more what came after that, where it was kind of like I forget what brewery it was. Told us that we were had a frat culture.
Oh yeah.
Their director of marketing for Bud Light basically came out after people were like, "Why did you hire Dylan Mulvaney?" And the director of marketing said, "We're trying to change the Bud Light image from this frat-like culture, to more of a sophisticated kind of every person brand." And that's where it started. I was like, "Oh man!" I didn't drink Bud Light already. But I was like, "Oh, you think that you have too many frat-like people drinking your beer, yet you're the top beer company in the world. Mm-hmm. Maybe you should consider those words a little bit more carefully, because I felt like what you're doing.
It's like Heinz wanting to get out of the hamburger game,
or it's like Heinz saying, we're no longer going to market ketchup towards kids because people who eat ketchup are kids, like what you say.
Yeah.
And then people would be like, wait, I'm an adult and I eat ketchup.
Take that to the bank.
That's not as offensive, but it's just I think that while a large majority of people don't like Barstool Sports, for example, I think corporations have found a delicate balance to tiptoe around Barstool consumers because there's so many of them and they don't want to offend them. That was what Bud Light got wrong, I think, was that they were like, we have all of these people. If you're getting drunk, you're likely a fool. Like, not because you're getting drunk, but you're acting differently than, like, you could be a doctor. You could be the most professional, most intelligent physicist in the world, Einstein. And when he got hammered, I bet that dude just had frat-like personality. He was probably just,
He was just so outgoing and
so it's
curious.
like, I mean, come on, it's alcohol. What are we doing here? Like, it's Bud Light. No one's drinking Bud Light like you would drink an expensive bourbon. You're slamming those motherfuckers, you know? I don't know. So anyway, long story short, was there any good
yeah, we could have talked about it last week too, but we
commercials?
were kind of letting it
Beer related. I think the commercials were they've been getting increasingly safer and safer. I haven't been
Do you remember
really impressed by any commercials.
That commercial? We went out and bought the beer like a few years ago. It actually did that goal.
They pretty much spent all their money on beer.
Yeah, but it was like
commercials.
They were skateboarding or something like that. It was something gold. We did it like 200 episodes ago.
It was a long time. It
wasn't
something.
Saint Archer or Saint
Archer maybe.
Saint Archer's gold.
Yeah, that was it.
And all of us, when Cobra was with us, all of us went and bought a case, and it was all right. It was effective. I was curious, what it did, and wham bam, and then they were gone. They weren't even on the market. They weren't even on the market 6-7 months.
Yeah, it didn't stick. That was unfortunate for them.
Yeah.
But Temu, you remember seeing Temu commercials? There was about 5 of them.
I did go to
they were awful.
I did go to the Temu website afterwards.
You did?
I did.
So those commercials,
like 3 or 4 days later,
they scream virus when I saw them. Like, don't go to this website because you'll probably get a virus on your computer, and then if you order something, you might get a virus.
Nothing's brand name.
Like a physical one.
$10 pairs of shoes. What else? Like shower caddies. That's what I saw.
I don't know what that commercial did a terrible job at.
It takes
I don't know
3
what
weeks
it is,
for you to get 3 weeks to get your item.
How are they burning money like that?
Well, there's
it's China, right?
Yeah,
it's a Chinese company.
Yeah, there's theories on.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
Temu is if you ordered Amazon from Wish.com.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Amazon, I don't know, I'm not a frequent Amazon shopper, but you don't get name brand stuff in your search results anymore until like way down the page or even several pages in.
Oh, yeah, because there's a bunch of like
if you literally search Under Armour hoodie, the first like 40 results aren't Under Armour.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't understand. They're all companies I've never heard of, and they all come in zipped bags.
Oh, yeah, their clothes come in zip bags.
It's so fucking weird. What's going on?
Wow,
Is it all one company and we're just fools?
No, there's just a bunch of like I have
all the knockoffs.
Yeah, I have a colleague that now sells or he teaches people how to sell their stuff on Amazon.
Oh,
he's like a consultant like that, and that's.
I'd like to sell some stuff on Amazon. I don't have anything to sell, but I'd like to
sell yourself, like we do on this podcast.
Oh,
Not in that way, like you.
No.
We're selling. We're selling our brand.
Is a serious thing.
By the way, if you want to invest, reach out.
Yeah, if you want to invest, reach out.
We're starting to consider the opportunity.
I would like investors on this podcast. All right, so this is Flying Monkey. They're out of Canada, I think Ontario, but let me make sure.
They are out of Canada.
They are out of 107 Dunlop Street, Barrie, which I think is the city, then Ontario, which is the province, and then Canada, which is the country. Earth, Milky Way, the universe, infinity. That's actually on the can, by the way.
Something, and again, we've done the website before multiple times. The website is as loud as this can.
This
like
can
it is
so loud.
There is so much for the eyes. Like it overloads you. There's other websites that do simple. There's nothing simple about what Flying Monkey does.
So this is a special edition. Blueberry custard Dippa. I'm just looking for anything else.
When you said blueberry custard, I was hoping for actual like custard viscosity. Like you know what I'm like.
Yeah. I think they're more on the vanilla side than the viscosity. That would be cool, like a smoothie sour.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, it's like yogurt.
Yeah, it's like yogurt, like a Go-Gurt.
Not every puzzle has all its pieces, but it's still a fun activity. 100% dice free.
That speaking of puzzles, I've had 3 people in my Facebook that have put together 1,000-piece puzzles in the last month, and they've been missing pieces.
Damn.
And all 3 of them were sealed in the box. Like,
yeah, I believe it. I believe it.
Could you imagine? Like, our kitchen table now is puzzles because my wife and daughter do puzzles.
Puzzles are fun. I want to do one of those puzzles that's just like one color.
Oh yeah,
really
one of those gimmick ones. Yeah.
Really difficult. Just put that together. That'd be fun. But I think I would quit halfway through.
They have the ones too, like it's just a giant QR code, and if you're the first person to do it or whatever, there's a prize.
Oh, that's cool. They should expand it to more people than just the first one.
Yeah,
because like if you find that if you get that puzzle and it's a couple years in.
Yeah.
You know,
sometimes
it should be like the first 100th, 1,000th, millionth person to put it together. All those people get something.
Yeah.
That way, there's an incentive to keep doing it.
Do you want me to give my thoughts first?
Yeah, I'd love for you to give.
So, all right. So this beer, again, when you say blueberry custard, again, it just turns on my brain. I'm gonna be having pudding cup or something like that, but a safe one, not something doctored up by Dr. Bill Cosby. Anyways, doctor theme, I like it.
Yeah.
Off the top rope, silence is bliss. This is a good beer. It's not a great beer, and this is Fly Monkey. Are most notable for obviously their can art, and I can't wait for JT to beautify us with what's going on that. But this beer is rather I get a little bit of the blueberry, I get a little bit of the vanilla. Blueberry is it's a beer tier fruit. I don't really care for it. There's other better fruit for beer. So
beer tier.
B
tier.
Beer tier or B tier.
B tier, got it.
In the popular tier system.
Yeah.
I should actually put that together, and I'll do a tier system when
we can start doing some tier episodes, because we got fruit. That's one.
Yep.
We could do other ingredient styles. We could do beer styles. We could do all kinds of stuff.
So and we could do it live. Maybe that's what we should do during the drink along. Because you can do the tiers, like we could do it live.
We could
do it on screen. Anyways, off the top, sorry, Stacy, really gassy on this one. Off the top rope, 3.5.
Oh, excellent! Yeah, abrupt, but excellent. There it is. All of that you saw from a distance, you now see up close.
There's so much.
There's so much going on here. All right, let's talk about this can art bonus segment brought to you by Stev. Thanks, Stev. All right. Lots of stuff here. Mind games include, there's banners everywhere, so let me just read through those. Relax. Nothing is under control. A can-do attitude helps. 100% dice free.
I do love a can-do attitude.
Yeah, just like this can.
Speaking of can, Ball is officially transferred. Ball Aerospace is no
longer a part.
BAE bought them. So.
Oh, no shit.
So Ball cans, again, beer related.
They're sticking with cans.
They're just cans.
Wow, that's crazy. After all those years in aerospace.
Yep.
Not every puzzle has all its pieces, but it's still a fun activity. 8 million pieces. Psychedelic Puzzle Factory. Special edition. Strong beer with natural flavor. And there's a few other ones here. It says, shake up your bumbling mind solving this dippa puzzle conditioned with ripe blueberry and juicy blackberry puree, swirled with creamy vanilla beans and loads of fruity hops. It's a puzzle factory. Shake it up with bumbleberries for double beery goodness.
Beery.
Beery.
Beery tier.
Oh, and it's from Barrie, Ontario. So there's a lot of berries in here. Like words, lots of stuff going on. So it's basically what they're saying is that this is like this is kind of like just an exciting carnival of beer. There's games everywhere, except the puzzle. You don't put puzzles together at the carnival. It's just very colorful. There's ice cream, which is actually custard, down at the bottom. If you like Culver's has great frozen custard. I love their concrete mixer.
Oh, yeah.
I always get chocolate with marshmallow swirled in. That's the best concrete mixer to get. It's like not solid marshmallow, you know. Do you know, this was something that my wife and I talked about. I don't remember if I asked you this or not, but like, what is marshmallow? Do you know? Does anyone know?
Yeah,
I don't think any of us have ever
like
questioned it.
Whipped sugar. And then
whipped sugar.
Or suspended sugar.
Suspended in what?
In itself.
In air.
So it's not like a sugar cube. A sugar cube is densely packed sugar, where marshmallow is whipped.
Oh, interesting. Whipped sugar. I feel like there's more than that in a marshmallow. Maybe not.
Yeah.
So marshmallows. No one ever thinks about it. We're just eating those things. You know, we don't know what's in them. It could be anything.
Again,
it could be.
We've said for a long time, like the year.
There's obviously gelatin in there.
Right. More marshmallow in beer, please.
Yeah, more marshmallow in beer.
Less lactose, more marshmallow.
So this one doesn't have marshmallow, but I only got there because of the concrete mixers at Culver's. Chocolate, marshmallow. Try that combo. It's amazing. This has vanilla bean in it, and that is apparent, like right off the bat. By the way, I didn't say 8.1%. I didn't mention that.
Yes, it's technically a imperial or a double.
It is a double, and that is apparent through the flavor. You can kind of taste the strength of this beer without tasting alcohol. I think you know right off the bat that this is a stronger beer. Well, anyway, Can I Burn segment's over. I don't know if I ever closed it out. This is actually the beer review now. On first sip, man, I really was like digging this beer. I was like, damn, this is good.
You lit up, and you're like,
I was like, wow.
And you're like, you don't like to tip your hand, but you're like, fuck it.
Doing something new, different with an IPA is what I'm hoping for. Because when I went to Arrow and I started looking at the beers again, I realized that I only have eyes for sours and stouts now, and every IPA, all 10,000 of them, just make me go like, oh, another. Like what? Why would I? What could I possibly buy this beer for? It's an IPA, and I know that there's like 3 IPAs that I really like. It's Bocho, Truth, and Pseudo-Sue.
Right.
So why would I need to buy all these other ones? Obviously, to give the brewers their fair shake on the podcast. That's a reason. But when I saw this, I was like, yes, let's. So we have sour IPAs, which we agree is a good step in the right direction.
S tier.
S tier IPA. So what else can we do with these? Well, let's start throwing fruit in. We said this a couple weeks ago. Let's start throwing fruit in IPAs. See what we can do. Well, vanilla, that was a good touch, I think. Throwing vanilla in this beer. Now, I will admit, this would probably be a higher score if this was not a DIPA. All the same fruits and beans, just one IPA level down. Single IPA. I think this beer would be pretty good, pretty high up there. But the strength of this beer, it really peaks. It peeks its head out. You taste it, and you're like, wow, this beer shows up to the party and lets itself be known. It announces itself on your palate, basically. Yeah, the puzzle's not very hard to put together, to be honest. It's only a couple ingredients. But it is well executed and ice cold, very good. Now that it's warmed up in my hand a little bit, not as good. Ice cold, I give this beer a 4.0. I like this beer. Very good execution, very good idea.
You would buy this one again.
I would buy this one again for sure. I would make sure that I drink it ice cold.
And that's something, that I've been asked about, through the ages, and maybe that's something we should get back to is, would we buy something again?
Yeah, would we? Yeah, I like that. I liked when we did that. And now if you tell me that there's a single IPA version of the same beer, I'll run out and buy it right away.
Because again, that's really that you can have like an absolute banger, and typically like fives or whatever, they're always gonna be a home run, but and you would want more of it. But 4, 3, there's a crossover to that, to either have diversity in your fridge or whatever like that. But maybe the score dictates it. But that's a conversation that can be explored.
Yeah, and we should explore it. Now, there's a brewery in Dayton that we really don't ever review because we've both gone there and we've both said this beer's
Dayton's oldest craft brewer.
It's good. It's average beer, most of it. And I'm hoping that this is changing. But I have a beer from Toxic Brew Company. First time we're doing it on the podcast.
I was going to say, is this our first toxic?
This is our first toxic. Now, I've been trying to get a toxic beer on this podcast for a while because their can art is phenomenal. It's like legit art in most cases. This one, not so much, but their the blonde that they have, I think it's called Toxic Blonde. The can art is so good. It is. You see it and you're like, I have to buy this beer. But then you realize it's just a blonde ale and you don't really, have room in your cart for that. So, they have some other really, really good can art. They're so good. Like, so eye-catching, and it's so well done by professionals. This one is obviously not what I'm talking about, but this is still good can art. Still good can art. Let's crack it open and we'll talk. I don't want to take away from the artist. 3, 2, 1.
Two amazing cracks today.
Best cracks today. This is Toxic Brew Company's Strawberry Lemonade Sour Ale, 4.5%. Art by Jessica Poole, from Rebel Tattoo, which I think is in Dayton.
It is.
Dayton tattoo company. I used to only go to Truth and Triumph, but now I think they sold that building to Evergreen Tattoos. And the guy who is my artist is the owner now of that Evergreen. So I wouldn't go back to Truth and Triumph because the guy that gives me my tattoos doesn't work there. I follow the guy, not the shop.
I do like that they really increased the font on the artist name. They really give it that individual their due.
And if you see toxic beers in the store, you know why they do that. The art is a primary feature.
Okay.
I think they actually sell art at Toxic.
I did see this beer. I was like, oh, Toxic production now.
Yeah.
I did see this beer and I didn't pick it up. So I did. It was at Pat's.
Oh, it was at Pat's?
Sorry, Stacy.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you didn't because I got it. So Fartknocker, that's what this beer's called. It's called Fartknocker.
So fucking hilarious.
And it is a strawberry lemonade sour ale. Boy, it was hard to choose between this one and another one I bought. But I brought this one. I had to match the ABVs. That's what I try to do is have like a high and a low. Sometimes it doesn't work out like that.
Yeah, it's not like this idiot over here that'll be like, what's better than this 10% beer? And GT goes, I don't have anything important to do later. A 16% beer. And I'm like, God,
hey,
what
if I don't
idiot.
have anything important, that's fine.
No, what an idiot I am for doing that.
It's President's Day. All I'm going to do is go home and celebrate the presidents. So we can I should have just brought both of the high alcohol beers. High octane beers, as we like to call them. But I decided to make sure there was a balance here.
With President's Day, you cannot celebrate appropriately unless you have a top hat on. We should have both had
top hat,
like a top hat.
Yeah,
and maybe a monocle.
I think I might watch Lincoln tonight. And I've been passing by. Man, I have so many things I could say. I know you told me to carry the episode, but I'm very talkative today.
That's good though.
I don't have Amazon Prime, but my mother-in-law logged into our TV with her Amazon Prime.
Where did Amazon touch you? This is the second time we were bringing up Amazon today.
Oh no! Here's
show
what
me
on
this bear.
I bought. This is an aside from what I was going to talk about Amazon. So I telework 3 days a week, and I keep the microphone for my government computer because the government laptop microphone is a piece of shit. And I mean, most of the time, they don't even allow you to access the settings. So I plug in an external mic. Well, I have a stand-up desk, and it's about this wide as this table. And so I have my company's laptop and my government laptop. There's not like a lot of room for other things. Anyway, so I put my microphone right in front of the external screen. I have like a regular screen, and it blocks the screen. So I was like, I need to get a boom mic. So I got a boom mic to put my microphone on. And it said it fits all microphones, including the brand I have.
Yeah.
It doesn't fucking fit that microphone. Like the screw part,
it doesn't line up.
The microphone underneath, there's a screw. There's like a female end of the screw. And the male end that comes with the boom mic, it comes with two. Neither of them fit. They're both too large. So I can't even put it in. So I have to get another screw just for this boom mic.
Is it a cantilever boom? Like it's one of those ones that you see?
You've gone further than my knowledge. What does that mean?
Like a scissor lift? Like, is it a scissored one?
It is a scissor.
Yeah,
it doesn't scissor. It's got two here and two here, and it's like, it's like a crane arm.
Okay, yeah.
Like a crane arm. But anyway, so that will be over my screen, and then I'll just have the mic there. I don't have. Then it's not covering up any of my screen, which has been annoying for months. Just a small thing, but that Amazon did that to me. But anyway, so my mother-in-law logged into Amazon.
Yeah.
On our TV, and the whole thing where you're like going on a streaming network and you highlight the video, you're just moving around with your remote, and then it like expands, like the icon expand. I fucking hate that. Get rid of that feature. That feature's stupid as fuck. And HBO used to have that and they got rid of it. Now Amazon has that and I hate it. And then within that window, the preview plays. And we're used to the previews because of Netflix. They do that shit.
Yeah.
So every time I'm looking for something to watch, I just mute my TV because I don't want to keep hearing previews. But I've seen Lincoln, I think they're trying to tell me something. Because I've seen Lincoln probably, every time I open the app, basically, Lincoln's the first thing it recommends to me. So maybe I'll watch Lincoln tonight. It's like a 3-hour movie.
Yeah. That's the Daniel Day-Lewis one.
Yeah.
Which is a good movie.
It is, but I know how it ends.
It came out around the same time as Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Yes.
Which that was Timur Beckham. It's the guy that did Wanted and a couple other movies.
Oh, okay.
But also an excellent movie.
Yeah, I got to see that one. Maybe if you treat yourself tonight, viewer, watch a president movie. There's plenty of them out there.
Yeah, JFK is a good one.
And if you can't find a good one, there's always the Epstein documentary. You could watch that. You get plenty of presidents in that one.
Speaking of earlier, and to go full circle, I have a confession to make. I've never seen Idiocracy. It's a Mike Judge connection. It's a President Day connection.
Wow, yeah.
It's
look at you. You brought it back to the beer. I can't believe you haven't seen Idiocracy. It's even...
And that's what
obviously, as the days go by...
Hector Macho Camacho Mountain Dew or whatever his name is.
It's so relevant, yeah. President Mountain Dew.
President Mountain Dew, yeah.
Yeah. Great movie. It's a great movie for people who aren't intelligent viewers to people who are intelligent viewers. There's something there for everybody. It's just a great movie all around. It really does hit home. It's crazy how much it hits home. Yeah, the plants. That's what they crave. You should watch it.
I know. I
think it's on Amazon.
It's on my list.
You don't care, but I think it's on Amazon Prime. I'm not sure.
I just watched a movie on Amazon Prime today.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you had that.
Yes. Anyways, this beer. So I get sours are where I'm gonna get connoisseur level.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get beer snobby.
In my own way, because
it's okay.
Sours are the most sought after. Again, you can get burnt out on them really quick. Your landing zone on sours is much shorter. It's a desirable place to be. It's like Vegas. Vegas is done best in 2 or 3 days. You can't spend a week there. You can spend a week drinking IPAs. You cannot spend a week drinking just sours. It's just you're gonna you're gonna get burnt out. You can do it with so many, but sours but you want that 24 to 48, 72 max hours, and it applies to sours. Great place to be, short time. Mm-hmm. So, anyways, this beer is so close to getting to that level, to getting to that 450 Pantheon, to getting that Toppling Goliath, that Drecker, that brewing project.
Toppling Goliath has stepped into this game, I think, accidentally, with their Fandango series.
Oh, yeah.
And they fucking killed it.
And everything... Now, you can only rate Toppling Goliath against itself. You can only rate 450 against it. It's just really tough. There is a Dynamite 450 out right now. I think it's Black Currant or whatever. I got that at Pat's.
Oh, what's the name of that? I almost bought that yesterday.
And it's only $25.
It's
only $25, which is
28,
great.
So I guess that.
The 26 or whatever.
Okay.
But $25.99. But it is it is a home run, slam dunk, everything.
So you've had it.
It's yes.
Oh, good. I'm glad I didn't buy it.
It's
that one looked really good. Black cherry.
Black currant,
black cherry. Yeah.
It's sorry, Stacey.
That looked good.
It's amazing. And the black cherry is a home run. All right. This beer is close. It's just muted because those beers, those other influences or whatever, shock the palate on how amazing they are. This is close. Strawberry lemonade is like a subtle taste when you think about it. Like it doesn't have the pungent. Everyone knows going into a strawberry lemonade situation what to expect. You're gonna get the tartness and from the lemon and the sweetness from this. It's just a palate memory that everyone has. You know, strawberry lemonade.
Oh yeah.
This is right there. I don't know. You can make it maybe thicker or something like that, like a smoothie style, because that, I guess, you know, that's the gimmick. That's the passion. Throw a little bit of marshmallow in there. I like that it's a 4.5. This is Pontoon Crushable. It's good. It's really good. It's just not at that S tier level. I still really dig this beer. I'm vacillating between two scores. I'm going to go off the top rope. You know what? I'm going to go with the ABV. I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Ooh, very good score. That is a Toxic first, I think. And we obviously haven't reviewed this beer. You might want, I don't know if you want to hit the music. I don't want to prematurely do the count. There it is. Oh man, Beavis and Butthead. How could we not mention Beavis and Butthead? Well, you know,
they nailed the artwork.
It's the AC/DC shirt is a Toxic shirt now, and the Metallica shirt says Brew, which is such a good touch. I will admit here that I don't know the which one's Beavis and which one's Butthead.
Butthead is the brown-haired.
Brown hair. Okay, Butthead's the strawberry, and Beavis has the lemon. Now we did not have cable when I was growing up, and I don't think I ever watched a Beavis and Butthead when it aired. I watched it obviously as an adult, but wasn't as invested in it. Man, just awesome. And
now it's back.
It's back now.
Yep, they do new episodes.
What is it on? Is
it
streaming or
MTV?
Oh, from MTV. No one watches that shit.
So probably Paramount.
Like who even has MTV? Come on.
Probably Paramount.
Yeah. So it's Beavis and Butthead. They're cheersing a beer. It's just what a great show. What a good movie too. Beavis and Butthead Do America.
And the fact it's Fartknocker.
A great cornholio. Fartknocker, yeah, great name for a beer. Also,
one letter off of Fartknocker.
I'll let the can art just work for itself, and that's by Jessica Poole.
Oh, chill.
Rebel Tattoo.
One of the best can arts.
Yeah, great can art. So that's the can art bonus segment. Great job. I agree with a lot of what you said. I do disagree with like the addition of adding marshmallows or vanilla. Like, yes, obviously that would make it better, but we need to be able to still have beers that don't have those things that excel.
Yep. Marshmallows for every beer.
Yeah. And I think that this beer excels most in its delivery of strawberry lemonade. And there is this like one thing that underlies the beer, which is the beer. It's like there's like too much ale to this sour ale. And that's, I think, what makes it not a 5. Because this beer really could be approaching elite territory. And which is amazing for Toxic. Because in this case, like he said, other breweries are measured against themselves. This one would be measured against the population. For Toxic, measured against itself, this is their 5. This is their pinnacle that I've had. But
preach.
Against all the other beers in existence, man, they're getting there. They're really getting there. It's like somebody's in the back room now talking and they're listening. Because, man, strawberry lemonade, they really hit the flavors. They really hit them.
It's the same 3 guys that have been there, too, since the start. I mean, they're rolling into year 11. They just celebrated their 10th anniversary last year. So they're 6 months ahead of Warped Wing. But yeah.
And it's quite possible that they've been brewing quality beer like this for a long time, but it's not distributed. This one we could pick up in stores.
Yeah.
I've gone to Toxic only when I'm in the Oregon district. I don't just like go there all the time. So I don't have a lot of Toxic beer. So I don't want to take away from what they possibly have been doing for a long time, but this, as far as distribution goes, this beer is top notch for them.
It's an easy drinker. It's just,
man, they really hit the mark, and I wish I could identify what that. I don't know if it's like yeast or malt or what, but there's just one flavor that's just kind of like you get the strawberry lemonade right away, and then like the palate rides on the beer flavor.
mm-hmm.
And that's the part you wish that you had more strawberry lemonade across the entire taste, in the breath and everything. But man, this beer does do well. It's not a 5, no way. I'm a little lower than you. 4.25.
That was
it really was hard to figure out a score for this one, but man, Toxic nailed it on this one. I hope that I can someday get this on tap.
This is, again, as JT said, this is their best beer that we've had. Now, my Toxic palate is very small. I haven't sought them out. Again, I saw this and I was aroused by the fact that they are now producing production style beers or whatever that are going out into the public. But so the one thing that, you know, we get comments on private or whatever, like, hey, you're a beer podcast, and like JT just hit it. You can have beers that don't taste like beer, and that's okay. Like, because people are going to come at us and be like, well, just drink strawberry lemonade, you know, whatever. There can be a marriage between the two. It's just, if it's strawberry lemonade, you don't want that bitterness or that contrast to the strawberry lemonade. You want the strawberry lemonade to shine through, and the fact that it doesn't persist on the palate as long as one would expect. Again, that's the minor knock on this beer or whatever. But again, it's nice to have beers that are beery.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, then it's nice to have like a departure, like a sour or whatever, because when you drink them, typically you're not reminded, oh, hey, this is a beer. It's kind of just a departure and off-ramp.
Yeah.
In your experience.
Yeah, I often forget that. Like, the point you're bringing up is that people would argue, you're a beer podcast and the beer has a beer flavor to it. Why are you so angry about it or giving it less of a score? Well, I guess you just have to... We're not even that high in the numbers, but we've had like hundreds of sours. So it's not like we're just saying this has a beer flavor, so it's not as good. Yeah. We're saying that this is just against the other sours that we've had. There's just more of something that isn't desirable versus what would be desirable in a sour. That's all. It's a relative thing.
A significant achievement for Toxic.
Yeah, I really do. This makes me want to go to Toxic and order this on tap. This is a very good beer.
This could be the bouncer for the Toxic Club.
I'm glad I got this one because there was 3. There's obviously Toxic Blonde, which we've probably both had, and that wouldn't make sense to buy. But the can art is so good. And then they had this one, and they had one other one that was also fruited. I can't remember what kind it was, but I didn't like the can art. It was good can art, but I didn't. I wanted the realism. That's what they. Have you seen the Toxic Blonde can?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I'll look it up because it's like basically like realism art, and it's just so good. And that's what I really wanted to bring here, but I had to get this beer some.
I do remember an outshout to the people at Toxic. I do remember the space. The space is really cool. Again, it's in Oregon District, which is the Haps place for Dayton.
Here's Toxic. Oh, no, that's a video. Hold on.
But again, this could be, you know, rechristening a new relationship with the Brew Crew podcast and Toxic, because this is if a lot of their product has stepped up the game like this beer
Toxic
has.
Blonde.
They should be.
You haven't seen that?
No, that is delightful.
That just great can art. And then let me look up some of the other ones here. Whoops.
I wonder if that's a real person, because I don't want to make too many comments.
Yeah, you probably don't want to.
Yeah, but there's, you know, going to be...
let's look up some of their cans. But while I do that, I want to, you know, not... Oh, yeah, here was other one.
No, we're going to have absolute silence while you look this up, because...
it's blurry. I wish it was not blurry. There's some really good can art that Toxic has. Man, why are they all pixelated? Anyway, I'll do it later. If you do yourself a favor, look up Toxic Brewery's can art. It's amazing.
I haven't been to their website. Again, because if we go down there, our first destination is always Barrel House. And then number 2 is the Warped Wing, and then for us, and then it's Branch and Bone.
Well, if you're on the Oregon District street,
yeah,
one street there, then Toxic is probably one of the places you'll go first. If not, Blind Bob's or one of the other great establishments down there.
There's a lot of things that I've thought about during the week, and I never write any of them down. But one thing I do want to talk about, and it's very local Dayton-esque, is Fifth Street Brew Pub, which is the bar that I'm part owner of, and I've given up on that joke for a long time because it's a co-op or whatever, and there's a couple of co-ops that we've talked about before. So this is very beer-centric. So Fair State in Minnesota, which they unionized, and we talked about this. The bar unionized. Well, they just filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. They said that because, again, we talked about this. They were like the number 5 co-op brewery, and we've had them before on the podcast, being from Minnesota. And but they're still going to keep producing, which is good. So the reason why I bring it back here to Fifth Street Brew Pub is Fifth Street Brew Pub is starting to send a lot of the owners like, hey, we need help. Like, we need to get, how we stay afloat is getting more foot traffic in and around there. So I've been talking to other friends of mine that are owners or whatever, and they've been trying to step up their game and go there a little bit more often to help out. It's just the unfortunate thing is, the conversation always happens, why did you stop going there? Well, some of the staff, one, kids, but two, some of the staff that they started hiring, and when we would go there was for the NFL Sunday ticket, and they got rid of the ticket because in our group, there's 3 different fan bases and everyone could watch TVs. Where now we've just kind of given up on that hopes and dreams because one, they got rid of the ticket. There's only one place that we can think of, or there's 2. There's Yellow Taxi Cab Company has the ticket, and Milano's.
Cab, Milano's. Well, so but
anyways, you got to get out and support the breweries.
To be honest, because the ticket,
you got to pay per seat.
It's a different bar. Yeah, bar prices are different than what you would pay at home.
But so again, it's just there's this boon of craft beer, but there's 2 co-ops that I said that are both struggling in different ways. One filing bankruptcy and the other one clamoring, saying, "Hey, we need help. Reconsider us." And they do have pretty good food or whatever, and they have gimmicks every night, trivia and all that stuff. But it really is people in there moving and buying product or whatever because they don't do a lot of their own production style or whatever. So everything is front of house sales.
Yeah. I would if I could give a suggestion to Fifth Street, it would be move. Find a new location.
Yes.
I know that's expensive, but
man,
I just don't like their location. I think their location sucks. Find a place where either you
just don't like St. Anne's neighborhood, or I mean parking there. I don't like parking on the street.
No, I don't care about the parking. I just don't think there's anything over there.
Yeah.
Go somewhere where there's either a hotel nearby, like especially if you're I just was at a conference last week in Dayton. It was hosted by my group. So all the people who came in from other states, every single lunch and dinner, they were looking for somewhere to go. And not one time did I suggest Fifth Street. Why would I? It's nowhere near anything. So so that's one. Get near a hotel, move closer to base or whatever. But that's not the only requirement, because you look at Warped Wing, they succeeded being in downtown. And just to give context, downtown and base are not. They're like 2 different downtowns basically.
Yeah.
Metropolitans. I would move. Do what Eudora did. Fifth Street is multiple tiers better than Eudora.
Yeah,
and they are, and there's no reason why they shouldn't succeed more than Eudora.
To paint the picture, it's in a neighborhood. It's in a historic St. Anne's neighborhood, is what it's called. But off-street parking is a crapshoot there. They have like a 5 or 6. So then you're parking in neighborhoods, in front of people's houses or whatever. Fifth Street is, a pretty...
Yeah, and there's a lot of businesses that are run down and gone out of business over there.
Yeah.
On the main street, what is that? Linden, or what is that street? I guess Fifth Street. But
yeah.
There's a couple of roads there where it's just doesn't seem savory.
Yeah, a little sketch, yeah.
A little sketch. I would move. That's what I would do.
They replaced their brewmaster. The brewmaster stepped down to go make stained glass because there was more money in making stained glass. You know, eventually everyone has to, you know, pay those gimmicks that they send in the mail called bills. So then they got a new brewmaster in there, and you know, they kept some of the same recipes or whatever. But again, it's just an interesting location because if you go there, you're kind of tied to there. Otherwise, you got to hop in your car and go somewhere else. Where, like, if you go to Barrel House or whatever, you got DBC right behind you. You got Warped Ring.
Yeah, there's a lot right
across the street.
there. Yeah.
There's a lot. Oregon District. You know, you can go door to door. You can go the aforementioned Toxic. You know, there's 3, 4, 5 reputable eatery places. You know, in a 100-yard radius. So
yeah, it's a good location.
It's a destination, but it doesn't make itself, or it doesn't lend itself well just with availability.
Move. You know, they need. There's plenty of places you can go. Yeah. Go by Eudora, like move over there. There's big buildings that need tenants. Or, you know, go by Action Sports. There's dads there looking to drink.
Cool. Full circle.
Just want some dads want some beer, you know? And I fucking hate Coors Light. I don't know what it is about Coors Light that's just not good.
It's the mountain water.
It's probably the water.
You hate that.
Not into it. But that's what they sell there, and I don't like it. I wind up bringing my own beer sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, I bring
I
bring Busch Light.
I'm always a fan of bringing your own beer.
I bring Busch Light. Busch Light is still it's just the most unintrusive beer that I've had. It just tastes like nothing, and that's what I want.
Boom, Busch Light.
Man, it's been a long time since we talked about Busch Light. Anyway, that's it. You think that's it, or we got more topics? That was great. I'm glad you brought that up.
You know, we're very random. I feel like today we hit a home run on randomness, like just all off.
There's some Amazon.
We would put push pins and stuff to hold that thought. I'm going to go over here and then talk about this over here, and then come back.
We never did figure out what we were going to talk about before we cracked the beer, but someone will remind us when they listen back.
The comments will flow.
And we'll talk about it next time.
Even if you're 2 years behind on the podcast or whatever, we do get prompted on the comments, which is great, and we go back to them or whatever.
It's awesome. Please comment. Yeah, like, subscribe, comment, share.
Like JT said, we're at 110 now. Hey,
we're at 110.
Eventually our subscribers are going to exceed the number of episodes that we have.
Here's what I did learn something though. Yeah. I learned something. The more likes something has, so everything on YouTube is categorized.
Yep.
By its it's basically domain, and so we're like beer. Our domain's beer, obviously. Yeah. But you don't get recommended to people to non-viewers until your likes reach a certain height. So the more likes you have, the more likely that you'll be recommended to someone who consumes beer podcasts. So even as important as comments are important as well in the algorithm, but likes, I found out just recently, are very important. So please. Like the podcast. We're
in the top 10% of longest running beer podcasts.
I
have no doubt.
Have to be.
And grant, the production value isn't there and stuff like that. But again, thank you everyone for tuning in and listening and sharing, and you're all doing the Lord's work.
You are. It's really true. You're doing the Lord's work because the Lord listens to this podcast.
Yep. And as
work.
As work. As a gift to everyone. Because you made it at this point. I made it. JT alluded to it. I asked him, I really need you to step up. I wasn't feeling my A game today, but it helped me to drink this beer, and it lifted my spirits, and I forgot of all of the weight, all of the beers consumed prior weighing me down, and I feel glorious.
Hair of the dog.
Hair of the dog.
That's what they call it.
Strawberry lemonade hair of the dog.
That's really awesome. That's it. That's episode 267. Another great one. Bye.